until you're ready to just relinquish some of that control to someone else to help you, you're going to stay at that same level or worse because you'll get so burnt out, you'll collapse under all of that pressure and stress, and your business could actually fail.
Well, hello there, you amazing business owner. I have a question for you. What are you doing right now? Are you walking the dogs? Are you working out? Are you taking a relaxing bath? Or maybe you're grabbing a bite to eat in between all of the mundane tasks that you have to do in your business every single day. I am super excited to bring you today's episode in whatever moment you're in, because today's episode will show you some ways that you can have more of those amazing moments. This is the first time we have ever had a guy on the podcast. And while I love to highlight amazing female entrepreneurs, I believe strongly in extending the conversation to other areas and professionals as well. Tim Hussey is my guest today, the owner, developer, and just all-around badass from Pixify, the studio management software that I use. We are going to talk about what is sometimes used as a dirty word when it comes to creatives, dun dun dun, automation. We go into how to use automation to offer your clients an elevated and consistent experience, and how you can avoid being the bottleneck in your own business and growth. Seriously, this episode is amazing and can completely change your life in that using automation can give your life back to you. Plus, he has an amazing offer for you too. So if nothing else, just listen for that. I promise it's awesome. While you're listening, or maybe afterwards, can you head on over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave a review? Today's review of the week comes from the beautiful Gina Lance. She is talking about the Money Blocks episode 002, where we went into pricing, and she said it's perfect for anyone struggling with pricing. I will definitely be listening more than once. I completely agree, Gina. That episode was filled with so much great information with Natalie on money blocks, pricing, and confidence. Thank you so much for your review. If you love this episode, head on over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave a review. I would love to give you a shout out in a future episode. Plus, I have a super special secret prize for the review of the week. Trust me when I say it's amazing, and you don't want to miss it. All right, ready to talk about automation and why it is not such a dirty word? Let's chat with Tim. Hey there, awesome people. I am Brooke Summer, and you are listening to Business Straight Up, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn, connect, grow, and build the business and life that they dream of. Welcome, let's get going and dive right in. Welcome, beautiful entrepreneuses and entrepreneurs. I am so excited for today's episode. I am crazy blessed to have Tim Hussey with me today. For anyone that does not know who Tim is, he is the creator, the dude in charge, the everything. Well, not everything. He has a team, but for Pixify, which is the studio management software and CRM that I use for all of my clients on both sides of my businesses. And I'm just thrilled to have him. Thank you so much for being here, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be a part of this. This is an amazing journey that you're on, and I just love it. So thank you so much.
I am also excited because Tim is actually our first guy, our first male that we have on the show. And for all of my listeners, you know how passionate I am for women and helping women to embrace their value. But reaching outside of our gender, our background, or whatever can help start conversations that are so valuable. And Tim just has so much amazing insight when it comes to automation and Pixify and everything that goes into that. So I really wanted to have him on the show. And I'm thrilled to have you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I am so pumped. So pumped.
All right. So we're just going to start at the beginning. So tell me a little bit about you, your story, and what Pixify is, where it came from, inspiration, all that good stuff.
So I was born at a very early age. Bad dad jokes. Bad dad jokes. Anyway,
Yes.
No. I've lived in New Jersey my entire life. I live about, maybe 10 miles from where I grew up. It's kind of crazy. It's a small state.
Yes.
Everyone's just packed in here like sardines. And it's insane. I started my photography career in 2007. I was working as a software developer for an educational software company at the time. And after my wife and I got married in 2006, there's something about our photographer and just what they were doing. Oh, it was amazing. I just was like, I need to try this. So somehow I convinced my wife to let me buy a camera, and I don't know how I did that, but
Right.
put out an ad on Craigslist. I'll shoot 10 free weddings and to the first 10 couples that respond, and it just exploded from there. And as it exploded, I quickly realized, oh boy, I am not organized at all. Like this is not good. So being with my, having my development background, I decided, what the heck, I'll just build myself a little organizational tool on the side, just as like a little project just to keep me organized. And after a few months of just working on it, I showed one of my photographer friends, and they were like, yeah, I would like to use that too. And so I know, it was crazy. So here I am working my full-time job, shooting weddings on weekends and building Pixify. It was, well, I have no hair left, so I think you can understand why.
Stressful.
Yes, but amazing, and launched out of beta in 2010 and just haven't looked back. And 2012 is when I finally kicked my day job goodbye, and now I'm doing Pixify full time, and I love it. I love helping people get organized and save time and save their life. So
I have told you in the past that I kind of jumped from software to software for quite a while. I've tried most of the studio management options, CRMs, all that good stuff, and Pixify is the one that just makes my life so much easier and helps my clients to have an amazing experience because they get all of the information they need, even if I'm not right at my computer, which is huge.
It really is. And that is that one aspect of automation in general is just huge, because when you set up a system like Pixify or whatever, when you set up a system and you tell it how you want each person's experience to be, then it doesn't matter if you have one client or 100. You're able to scale because everyone gets the same experience. Everyone gets the same emails, questionnaires. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone gets the same experience. And that makes you look incredible because nobody knows that you're dropping the ball or you're on a beach, relaxing in the sun while the system is working for you. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Everyone needs this.
Yes. So many of my students, they want the clients and they start marketing, and then they start seeing the clients come in, and then they can't handle the load of offering an elevated experience to all of their clients without outsourcing or automating something. And they're so afraid to do so. And I feel like automation is like this mysterious thing. Like, everyone really...
Automation, watch out!
Right? Like, everyone really, we want it, but I don't know, it's kind of scary. And everyone knows that it will really help, but they're afraid to put it into place. So why do you think business owners are hesitant to automate certain parts of their business?
Well, I can speak from experience on my own. I'm a bit of a perfectionist / control freak. And so, no, but for real.
I don't know that at all.
Yeah, well, yeah. But literally giving over control to a system to handle responses and follow-ups and scheduling, like, that can be a huge thing to kind of like, oh my gosh, I have to let go of this. But like you were saying, that's kind of the only way to really grow, because you become the bottleneck in the whole system if you don't give control over to the system that you set up. It's crazy.
I think that that's a huge piece. I'm going to kind of take you back to that about bottleneck. Let's talk about that, because I know I have bottlenecked myself more times than I can count. What do you mean by that when you become the bottleneck in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you are the one holding yourself back. So we all have the exact same amount of hours in every day, but we all have different things that just eat up those hours and eat up that time. And there's different seasons of each of our lives where we can give more time to certain things like our kids or our families or our businesses. And then there are other times that you just can't. And when you become the bottleneck, you basically, you can only handle so much with the time that you're giving to whatever you're giving it to. So let's say that truthfully, I can only spend about 12 hours per week doing my side business or something like that. if all of a sudden I'm getting more and more clients and I still can't give enough time to that, I'm basically the bottleneck to that side business's growth or whatever. And so by investing in a system, now it frees you up to scale. It's awesome.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like there are so many times I ask myself, what is the problem here? Why am I having issues? And 90% of the time it's me. Um,
It's all your fault.
well, it's just one of those things, like, you really get in your own way. Even when it's not intentional, you just hold yourself back because you're so intent on controlling everything, or you're so stuck on things have to be done my way. And I'm very much the same way, that I need things done a certain way. I have high expectations. I want to make sure that my clients have an amazing experience from start to finish. And for that reason, there are systems in place. But it doesn't always have to be me. And that was really hard to accept. And it was really hard for me to let go.
I feel like that is like the first jump off the cliff, so to speak. Like, until you're ready to just relinquish some of that control to someone else to help you, you're going to stay at that same level or worse, because you'll get so burnt out, you'll collapse under all of that pressure and stress, and your business could actually fail.
Yes. Yeah. And so many of them do.
Yeah.
So many businesses fail.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I get account cancellations every week for Pixify, and so many of them aren't because they've chosen another system. It's because they're like, yeah, I can't take it anymore. I have to close my business. And I'm like, wow, like, if only, these people had, put these systems into place before burnout, while they're still setting up their businesses, instead of trying to start while there's all this crazy chaos and, stress. Yeah.
Yes, that is actually a really, really good point. I initially started using Pixify, gosh, I think must have been right when you came out of beta, 2010-ish. It's been a while. But it was way back before I had a ton of clients. And that was really scary because I didn't have the revenue to justify the investment. So it was a leap and it was scary, but I knew that it would be important to have these systems in place. So I jumped anyway. And I'm so glad that I did that before I was busy.
Absolutely.
And so many people don't take that into consideration. They're like, well, I don't want to pay for it yet because I just don't have the revenue. And I understand that. I get that. But if you can invest in something up front that will make your life easier in the long run, it's a huge jump. Absolutely.
And like what you were mentioning earlier about how there's, so many different systems and they all, have a learning curve. It's so much easier to learn when your brain isn't fried, and to set things up when you're not crazy stressed. And so, I've tried to put different resources and videos and stuff together to help people. But ultimately, if they're not able to really soak it in because of stress, like it's kind of sad.
Yes, that is crazy. And that is one thing that I personally love about Pixify is I'm very much a service-oriented lady. I prefer...
Lady.
I was trying to think of like girl, doesn't really fit. I don't know. I really prefer great service. I would take, if I go to a restaurant, I would take food that maybe isn't as good as elsewhere if I have good service. I want excellent service. I want help when I need it. And having used so many studio management softwares, and I also use things like Lead Pages and ConvertKit, other tools in my business, and Pixify is unmatched when it comes to the help that you offer all of us weirdos that need help. The Facebook group is insane. There are so many people there to help you, which I think is huge too. When it's something that you don't know what the hell you're doing and you're scared, having a group, a community to go into and say, I'm freaking out here, and have other people say, it's okay, you can do it, is huge.
Oh, it really is. And it's amazing that the community that has built in there over the years. Like, really, really cool. Really, really cool.
So, I kind of want to give listeners an idea of what can be done with automation. So, I'd love to hear some of the more creative things that you have seen when it comes to automation. And I know that one of my friends locally, he's a lighting designer, is not a photographer, and he uses and loves Pixify. So, what are some of the different things that you've seen, or different businesses, ways that people can use a system to automate parts of their business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, originally, Pixify was designed and developed for wedding photographers, and quickly I realized, this is way too narrow. There's so many different people who could use a tool like this. If you need, lead and client and event and project and invoice and contract management, like this is it. Everyone can use this. And so, some of the really cool tools I would say within Pixify to help automate things. One of the big ones is our booking pages system.
Oh my gosh.
The booking pages system is like crazy. I've invested so much time into building it and tweaking it and, really making it feature rich. Some people might say it's a little too advanced, but that's only if you want to get crazy. But it's amazing. People can go onto a booking page and you can offer different services. And they can go on and choose a date and a time slot, sign a contract, make their payment, and it's all from one page that you just either embed on your website or send them a link to. And it's all hands off from you. Like you don't have to do anything. You don't have to have the back and forth. I mean, so many people are, they'll post like an image on Facebook. Hey, I'm offering mini sessions for spring or summer. And it says, please email me or call me to inquire about time slots. And I'm like, oh, that's just so much back and forth.
Yes.
Who has time for that? When you could just build a booking page, send them a link, and then people can go and book the time slots right there.
Yes.
It's like,
that's a huge barrier too. No, that's a huge barrier for someone to book you. The more steps it takes, the more likely you're going to lose them along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And price might not even be the factor that they don't book you. It just be it's too cumbersome, too full of hassles.
Yes. Booking pages is something that I begged you for a long time before it went live, because I'm not a wedding photographer. So for me, proposals and things of that nature, I don't really send those to clients, but booking pages was huge because I, speak with someone that wants to book with me and I send them a link and they do the rest of it. And then once they're confirmed, we have our workflows built in and everything. And once we hit the go button, then everything else is automated. And I cannot even tell you guys what a lifesaver this is. The booking pages alone for portrait photography specifically, and for other things. Like I use it for my podcast too, when I have guests, for people to choose dates and times, because otherwise it's like 20 emails back and forth. Does this date work? Does this date work? And I know that I've had episodes in the past where we talk about productivity and how staying out of your email helps your day immensely.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Get out of there.
Oh my gosh. And so the booking pages help you stay out of your email because you don't have to have that back and forth a million times.
Oh, it's horrible. You feel like you have this giant anchor attached to your hip and you're like, gosh, I got to wait till I get these emails so I can respond back about, what's available. And, none of that.
Right.
None of it.
And then sometimes you don't even get it back. Like they ghost you and they're out.
Don't even get me started on ghosting.
Oh my God.
It's the worst. But you're right. And everyone deals with that. Everyone in this industry deals with it. So
yes.
Why even worry about those ghosts when you can just send the real people to your booking page?
Right? And they just go. And that's it. And it's so easy and it's amazing. I think booking pages, last time I checked, and like I said, I've used several, but last time I checked, Pixify was the only one that offered that.
Yeah, I believe that's still correct. I think I haven't checked in a while either, but yeah, it's crazy. It's worth its weight in gold.
It is. It so is. And for anyone listening that doesn't understand, I'm just going to kind of give a quick booking pages rundown. So someone will go to the link that you provide and choose what they'd like to book. So in my case, I have couples boudoir and standard boudoir sessions with or without hair and makeup. They choose their session. They choose the date that is tied to my Google Calendar that I determine. So I only shoot 2 days a week. And those are the only 2 days that are open in that calendar for them to choose from. And they choose the time and they sign their contract and they pay their retainer without me. I don't have to be involved in that process at all.
Hallelujah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Think of how much time that saves. That's huge. So big.
And like what you were mentioning earlier, then once the booking is confirmed, you can have it automatically apply workflow. And workflows are like, that's the bread and butter, baby. That's the bacon. It's like amazing because you can set up how you want the flow to go. You can set up phases and tasks for yourself to complete. You can set up automatic emails and texts and questionnaires to automatically fire off at your specified time. So you can say, hey, a week before this event, I want to remind myself through email or through text that I have this on my calendar and make sure that I'm available. And you can have it send an email to, say you've got like an assistant or a second shooter for a different event. You can have it send them an email, a week before just to confirm and send an email or a text to the client saying, hey, we're so excited about this event that's coming up and blah, 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 blah. And, hey, fill out this questionnaire real quick because I want to get some more details about blah, blah, blah. And all you have to do is set that up once and then it's automatically applied to every single event that's booked. Everyone gets the same experience like we were talking about earlier. It's magic. Magic.
That is, it's seriously amazing. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. For my team, we send out, I think 5 emails before every session. So the first one is just reinforcing someone's purchase that they just made because chances are they're nervous. And so the first one is just saying, we're so excited to have you. I know that you're nervous. It's okay and this kind of goes back into psychology of, helping someone be comfortable in what they're doing. Because even if it's just a family portrait, chances are mom is like, oh, I don't want to get the kids ready. I don't.
Oh, the anxiety. Nervous. Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's still something that induces anxiety, even with your clothes on. So
it's so true though. So true.
So these emails, now we don't have them sent to go automatically because I want my assistant to go in and look at the session and make sure that there's no conflict, just to double check. But as soon as she hits that complete button in the workflow, then it sends everything else. So it's one button to send a total of 6 emails. We have 5 before the session, 1 after the session. And this will walk my client through everything. It sends them my welcome packet. It sends them my lingerie guide. It sends them the night before. It says, hey, I know you're nervous. Don't cancel.
Stick with it, please.
Right?
You're going to love it.
I promise it'll be worth it. It sends them the address. It tells them hair and makeup information, like little reminders. Because, man, if I had to send that myself, especially my busy months, when I have, 10 to 12 sessions in 1 month, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine trying to keep up with that. That's insane.
Absolutely. It's too much. It's too much for one person.
That is crazy. So you have are you still shooting on the side? Do you still do weddings?
It's so funny that you say that because I've been trying to retire, but I'm shooting a wedding in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I love it.
It's funny how we try to get away from it and then it just doesn't happen because we
can't do it. It's too much fun and right. I love it.
So you ran your own creative business before Pixify. Was there like an aha moment that kind of caused you to create? Like, did something fall through the cracks? Did an email get missed?
Oh yeah. I mean, this was a huge aha. I'd been trying to use Outlook as my calendar. This was before I got Google Calendar, and sticky notes to try to keep everything organized.
Yes.
I almost double booked a wedding. I replied to the inquiry, yep, I'm available. And it was because they were ready. They were ready to book me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I almost double booked. This would have been so bad because, clearly it was just me at the time. So it's not like I had anyone to fall back and go shoot the other. It was definitely an aha moment. Like, oh my gosh, I need to get organized. Ah!
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
It happens. I think
Yep.
it happens to all of us. And there's that. I mean, I know rock bottom is kind of a dramatic term, but it's kind of one of those moments of like, I've got to make a change. Something has to change.
Yep. Yep. And hopefully for anyone listening, you won't have to hit a really bad rock bottom. Hopefully, you know, what we're talking about is encouraging you, inspiring you, and you're like, okay, all right, I can do this. And if you need permission, we give you permission. Like, relinquish that control. You have our permission to do it, because you're going to free yourself. It's going to feel maybe really scary at first. Oh my gosh, about to jump off that cliff. But man, when you do, your parachute is going to explode. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome.
Well, and putting that system into place takes time at the beginning. Yep. I remember when I first set up my lead. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Wait, let me write that down. When I first set up my lead follow-up, I was very overwhelmed, and I set aside 4 hours to do it. And it probably took about 2 because I wasn't familiar with it yet. And this was years ago. But I cannot even tell you like what that does for me now. So actually, let's talk about lead follow-up.
Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So many of my students are afraid to follow up because they don't want to bother someone. And I get that. I used to feel that way as well until I had my own wedding. And the caterer that we booked was not necessarily a ton better than any of the other caterers. She was just the one that followed up with me.
And that's the thing. I think we all, as business owners, forget just how busy everyone else is as well. Yes. You know, we're running our businesses, so we know we're busy, but we forget just how busy everyone else is with dealing with all their other stuff. And you're not bothered. I mean, clearly they'll let you know, like, unsubscribe me, please. But, you know, you're not bothering them. There's so many times when people have followed up with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you followed up, because I'm drowning over here and I totally forgot, or, you know, it just slipped off my mind or off my calendar. And that follow-up made the difference between giving them business or someone else. Like,
yes. And it doesn't have to be an annoying, like, hey, are you ready to book? Hey, are you ready to book? Hey, like, it doesn't.
I sound desperate. Book me.
Right?
No.
Right? It doesn't have to be that way. But
Gentle
so many
nudge.
people think of like this used car salesman mentality when they follow up. And all you have to do is like, seriously, 3 sentences. Say, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. I know that you had contacted me about this in the past and life gets busy. So I wanted to see if you have any questions that I can answer. And if so, send them my way and I'd love to talk with you more.
And see, what you just said is not even salesy. There's no asking for a sale there. You're literally just saying, hey, I'd love to reach out and let me know. Like, there's nothing bad about that. I love it.
Well, and so much of it too is, and we talk about this like in past episodes and in my classes, that like add value to someone's life. Always. Mm-hmm. Anytime you reach out to someone, how can you add value to their life, to their day, to that moment when they open up that email? So when someone opens that email, how can you say, hey, I hope you're having a great day, instead of, hey, are you ready to book? Hey, pick me. How can you add value to their day and make it a positive experience?
That's amazing. I mean, even just talking about like brides, there's so many items on that checklist when planning a wedding. And for you to just spread a little sunshine in their crazy, hectic day, there's no price you can put on that.
Right? That's so important. So I kind of went through one of my scripts for one of my lead follow-up emails, but we actually have 5 lead follow-up emails that go out, and they're automated through Pixify, so that when someone contacts me to book a session, they will not only get the response, and for anyone listening, when someone contacts me, my response looks like this. So they get an automated email through Pixify that gives them kind of a rundown of information. And then I also personally type out a response, which is actually a template, but I put in personal stuff as well, to address any concerns they may have, talk about, you know, if someone said it's for someone's birthday, then we talk about that to make sure that it's personalized. I will also respond to them. That is something that I have not given to my team yet. We're working on that, but it's not, I hesitate with that, not because I don't think my team can't, not because I think they can't handle it, but because I like to connect with my clients. Like, that's kind of why I do what I do.
It's the last human thing that you can do. Yeah, the last human touch.
Yes. So they get the automated response, they get my response, and then we add the lead follow-up reminders, which is all done through Pixify. So I created them all in like I said earlier, about 2 hours. And then we assign them as soon as I respond personally, because I don't want them to go automatically. You can set them to go automatically, but if it's like a holiday weekend or something and I haven't responded yet, I don't want reminders to go when I haven't spoken to someone.
That's awesome.
And we send, like, the first one is, hey, just wanted to check in with any questions. There's one of them that sends over a video, like my promo video, that shows what a session is like.
I love that.
Well, yeah, because it's scary, right?
And you're setting expectations right from the beginning. I love that.
Yes.
Great.
And then another one is information about my referral program, because I am not the cheapest photographer in Denver. I know that, and I'm okay with that. And so I send over information about the referral program because my clients can actually earn referral information, referral credits before their session as well.
Nice.
And I want them to know that, because there are a lot of people that think that it's out of reach for them, but it's really not. And there are so many fun things that you can do. And I want my clients to know that. So for all of the listeners, I want you to think about, when someone tries to book you for a session, what you can follow up with. How often are you going to follow up? We have, I'm doing this from memory. Sorry, I closed my browser. It's 3 days, 10 days, 14 days. I want to say 45 days and 60 days, I think.
That's awesome.
But that's after the initial contact. So once I set that to go, those emails will go automatically. And I cannot even tell you how many sessions I have booked because I'm following up with people.
It's so awesome. And not only can you do it with just leads, but you can do it with events as well. There are so many ways that you could make extra money after the session just by setting up these automatic follow-ups. You know, a month later, 6 months later, a year later, on the anniversary of either a wedding or just a year later after their session, you can send coupon codes, or, you know, hey, there's so many ways that you could keep interacting with that client without actually having to do it yourself, you know, like just setting it up to do it.
That's amazing. And I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, my notes are a mess. I haven't even thought of that. So what you're saying is to follow up with someone after their session. Let's say it's a family session and they do their family session in October. Well, maybe around Valentine's Day, you could set up a reminder to be automated to say, hey, do you need cards for Valentine's Day?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm happy to do that for you. Or think of all the different things. Yeah, that's amazing.
Want a romantic Valentine's Day couple session? Come on.
Right?
10% off, baby. You know?
That's amazing.
Yep.
Or for me, like for boudoir, we could do maybe a special on an easel metal print that's like 8x12. So like a bedside print around Valentine's Day, and just set up those emails together. That's an amazing idea. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sweet. Well,
and I would say that is something that takes. So we were talking about how the system takes a while to set up, or could take a while, but I think that would even take probably the most portion of it is thinking about what you want to say in your emails, how you want to follow up with people, because the system itself, you know, once you figure out the basics, it's not that hard, but like truly thinking about your processes and what do I actually want this experience to be? If I were the client, what would I want to, you know, be emailed or told, or like you said with your video? That's amazing. Here's a sample session just to, you know, set your expectations and kind of ease your anxiety about it. Look how much fun this is, and look how beautiful you can look, and, you know, whatever. Like that's probably what's going to take really the longest time, is just thinking through that and planning it out, you know?
Yes. Well, and that's kind of separate from Pixify completely, because that's just a system that you put into place. Pixify is just a tool that does it for you.
Exactly. We're the butler that handles it for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And when I actually set up all the lead emails, I typed them out in Evernote first, because I live in Evernote. I typed them out in Evernote so that I could tweak them and see spelling, you know, all of that good stuff. And then I just copied and pasted them into Pixify and set the dates. That was it.
Yep. It's awesome.
And I watched the videos, figured out, and I'm sure I probably asked several questions in the group that day and freaked out.
You never did. You've never asked a single question. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, I'm in there all the time. So Pixify is an amazing tool on its own, but I believe very strongly in directing clients and leads back to our websites that have the strong brand, and clear vision with, I really believe in having a goal for every page on your website. So tell me a little bit how Pixify integrates with your website, because I know I only use one piece of it and I don't even use Pixify to its full potential.
Yeah. And so we have a couple of different options and pages that you can integrate into your website. There is, I just redesigned the client portal just a few months ago, and it's gorgeous now. You can integrate that right into your website. So you could have maybe a top nav or a side nav, depending upon what your layout looks like in your website. You could have that person click a link and take you to a page where they can sign in and access all of their events and invoices and questionnaires and contracts, all from this client portal. And you can actually put that on your website if you want. You can use our inquiry form to get new leads. We have the booking pages like I talked about, which you could also add to your Facebook page using that little Facebook tab tool. You can, we have gift card pages. So that's something new that I launched in December.
That is new. I haven't used that yet.
Yeah, so it's awesome. You can, for your referral credits, instead of just giving them, hey, you've got credit, you could issue them a Pixify gift card and then let them redeem it on booking pages or invoices. And so you can keep track of, they can keep track as well of, how much is remaining. And it's really cool. But you can put those gift card pages on your website as well. So say you're offering a promotion and you're like, ooh, I want to do, like you said, Valentine's Day. I want to offer people to buy their lovers some, sessions with me, but maybe they're not ready to choose a date with a booking page. Why don't I just sell them a gift card and then they can apply it to their session when they're ready? You can even offer discounts on your gift cards as well in case you want to offer an actual sale. Like, hey, buy a $500 gift card at 20% off, and then people can redeem it. It's really cool.
That is really cool. I actually do that for Black Friday every year, and I prefer to do it that way because then my clients who have already booked a session can also take advantage of it. I know I personally hate it when people are like, just for new people. And I'm like, that's kind of messed up.
No, everybody wins.
Yes. Yep. So I haven't used that yet in Pixify, but I'm really excited because I previously just used Square for that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't available. So I need to switch that over to Pixify. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And we're not going to take any percentage fees, only whoever your payment processor is. So it's awesome.
That's awesome. I am super excited. I want to know.
What would you like to know?
I've been writing. I don't think you've ever seen. I haven't put my notes on the show notes yet because they are seriously like all over the place and weird. But someone asked me to, and she said, you should share that on Instagram. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll see. What can automation look like for someone who is scared to take the first step? What is that first step?
Okay. All right. I would say if you're thinking about jumping off the cliff, you're ready. I would say the first thing that you could do to automate your processes would just be to set up an inquiry form and then set up an automatic responder so that as soon as they fill out your form about, whatever type of event you're booking, sending them this automatic email just saying, hey, we're so glad that you contacted us. Right then and there, you can set expectations about when they'll hear back from you. So you could say, hey, typically you'll receive a response within a day. If I just happen to be at my computer, you'll get one sooner, or something like that. Yeah. Just to kind of, and make it you, obviously. You really want it. Just because they're automatic doesn't mean it has to sound like a robot. You can totally brandify and personalize that automatic email. But that would be like the best first step. Once you do that and people are getting these automatic responses, some people will even respond to that. And you'll be like, okay, all right.
Yep.
Whew, I could do this. Like, this feels good.
I'm in. A
All right.
giant. I'm in.
You know, and oh man, once you go down that rabbit hole, it's going to be just amazing.
Yes. And I want to kind of go back to when you said make it yours. I flat out say in that automated email, this is an automated email because I might not be available right now.
I love it.
And my clients appreciate that because the people that I want to work with don't expect me to be on call 24/7. And we've kind of talked about that with productivity as well, that the whole reason that you went into business was, first of all, probably because you love what you do, right? If you're a photographer, you love to take photos, you love to be a part of that.
Yep.
But also second, because you want a life.
Yep.
And choosing tools that can automate these things for you mean that you can get back to your kids, get back to your spouse, go back to your life, and actually enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. What good is working so hard for not being able to enjoy it? Like,
right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I don't think that people have an issue with knowing that it's an automated response. I flat out tell people that. And quite frankly, if they do have an issue, it's probably someone I don't want to work with anyway.
Bye, Felicia. See you next time. Yeah. But for real. Gosh, you could go right into your ideal client again right here, but
Yes. And
Seriously.
I want them to know it's automated. And I tell them I will respond personally too, but I wanted to get you the information as soon as possible. And I have the response that I have to the inquiry also has my booking page link. And I have so many people that just book right there.
Yeah. It's wonderful. You could book while you're sleeping.
Right?
Why not?
Oh my gosh.
The cool thing for some people who don't know, like those email templates can also have automatic attachments added.
Yes.
So say in that first automatic response, you want to give them a beautiful PDF of your pricing or what to wear or whatever. You can attach that PDF to the email template. And then every time that email template is sent, it comes with that attachment, saving you time of having to follow up again. Hey, check out my pricing guide or check out this beautiful blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah. Sorry, that was a little rabbit trail, but I just thought.
No, it's so true. Sue Bryce talks about the PDF all the time, about having a beautiful way to show your pricing, because it's super important to make sure that your clients know your pricing up front. And I actually send it automated 4 times before someone's session, just to make sure, absolutely sure. But I send people to a page on my website just because it's easier for me to update than a PDF.
Well, yeah, very true.
And so they go to a page on my website that outlines what the experience looks like, what it means to choose hair and makeup or not to choose hair and makeup, the products that are available, the prices that go with them, because I want someone to be completely prepared before they book.
And I love that. Now you're not just a service provider, but you're also giving them great resources and kind of coaching them into it. That's extreme value, just like what you were talking about earlier. Like just providing value to your clients in their lives. I love that. I love it.
Well, and a lot of times there are people that will contact me and they don't book me because price is a deciding factor, and that's okay. But then a year later, they will come back to me to, quote, fix their session because they didn't like the first session that they chose. And I added so much value to what I had to offer them that they came back to me because they knew that they were going to get an amazing experience.
And look how you differentiated yourself from the competition. Sure, they did choose them initially, but then they realized, whoa, wait a minute. I'm getting a much better experience with this. So yeah, that's amazing.
Definitely. Another way that you can, or another thing that you can add, I guess not thing, another resource.
Here's this thing, you want it?
That you can add to this automated response that I like to send. I also send it in the lead follow-up emails, are all of the blog posts that you've written, all of these things that you've written that are awesome resources on what to wear, things to think about. I have one that says, please, for the love of God, don't spray tan.
The
little things, right? Little things like that you can send out that chances are, if they're new to your website, they haven't read them unless they've been through your entire blog. And now you're using a tool to send them out to them automatically so that they have that information. And again, you're setting yourself apart.
Interestingly, yet another side note. I love to go down random rabbit holes, but one photographer who uses Pixify in those automated emails, sent a week after and 2 weeks after and stuff like that, or before. They will they use their Amazon affiliate account to suggest different products so that they make a commission off of whatever their clients choose. So they're making money off the session and making, little bits of money here and there off of these suggested, like it's hilarious. But at the same time, like that's a great idea. Like, why not?
Absolutely.
You're now the authority and you're like, hey, look, these are all the cool things I would suggest you get or whatever.
And you're setting yourself up as an expert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that person is not just sending them to make the money, but also to say, look, I'm trying to help you out. This is truth. This is what you can look at to look amazing. And this is how I can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about Pixify and your team or my team or anyone's team. Outsourcing is another one of those things, outsourcing and automation that is super scary and people are terrified to do it. And I know I was as well. My first assistant was someone who contacted me and said, do you have interns ever? And I'm like, I guess.
Sure.
And she's actually still with me today.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know, 6 years later. So let's talk about a team with Pixify. And I want to talk specifically about how important it is to have those systems in place so that when you do decide to bring someone on, everything is there that they need.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it. So in Pixify, we call them staff members, but team, same thing.
Yes.
But one of the really cool things that you can do is with each staff member, you can set up a permissions role. And I'm so glad that I built this in because so many people have needed this. You can, on a modular level, you can say, hey, this is what I want every assistant or every second shooter or every hair and makeup person to be able to access. I want them to be able to access only the events that they're scheduled. And I don't want them to be able to see any financials. I don't want them to see any invoices, none of that, just this and that. And you can do that. And once you apply it to that staff member, they'll only be able to see what you allow them to see, which is great because obviously the more people you add, the more hands in the cookie jar, you got to limit it.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody needs to know you made $500,000 last year. They can just see what, events they're making or they're assigned to, and that's it. The other cool thing is when you add staff members to an event, you can have it automatically send them an email to have them confirm. For some of these big studios with big teams, they will add, 5 or 6 different second shooters or assistants or whatever to an event. And then they can watch as people either approve or reject the booking, saying, hey, sorry, I'm busy. And that really helps them because now they're not going back and forth with their team like they would have to go back and forth, with the client, saving them just so much time. Oh, okay, look, Tim's not available. Great, I'll just remove him. He rejected the booking. And each staff member can even set their own availability calendar. So as you're about to add them to a lead or an event, it pops up a little message saying, hey, sorry, they marked that they're not available on this date in their availability calendar. And so right away, might as well not even add them because they're not available. They're just all these little tiny features that a lot of people don't know about that save so much time. It's awesome.
I love that. And I think it's important also to specify what we mean when we're talking about team or staff. And I only say this because so many people are like, well, I'm a one-person show, but I have an accountant. And my bookkeeper actually has access to my Pixify. She has access to the financials, so she can't update appointments or anything like that because every month she goes in and pulls all of my revenue reports, all of the merchant fees. She'll go into Pixify for all of that, and I don't have to be involved because financial stuff drains my soul.
Hallelujah. So, here, you take it and run with it. Thanks, numbers person. Yes.
So, I know that if you think that you're a one-person show, that you are, and you probably do everything in your business. But when it comes to maybe some of these external, like hair and makeup artist, chances are you're probably not doing that yourself. Some people do. Or bookkeepers, accountants. It doesn't have to be someone that works for you, like as an employee. Yeah. It can be an independent contractor or maybe an intern, and you can set up these roles within Pixify that are specific to the role, not to the person.
Right. Because any person could belong to a different, you could switch their role. Say one day they're, an assistant, and then all of a sudden you want to make them an admin. You can totally do that.
Yes. Well, and I have we're a team of 4, including myself. And so one of my team members handles inputting invoices and things of that nature. So she has access to the financials, whereas my other team members don't do that. It's unnecessary for them to be in there, and to avoid mistakes, I don't give them access to that.
Yeah, and they don't even need to see it anyway.
No. And I don't want to have like, oops, I clicked the wrong button and deleted a payment, something like that, because it has happened in the past. So you can be very specific in your roles and just kind of think outside the box when it comes to your team and think, what does that really mean? Because it doesn't have to mean an employee. It doesn't have to mean someone that is working for you in that sense. It could mean a bookkeeper, an accountant, or things of that nature as well.
Yeah, I know one studio, they have, they outsource to have their editing done, culling and editing done for them. And that person has access to their account. So every time they're added to an event, they know, oh, okay, great. The event is done. I'm going to go create it as an event in my system and then wait for them to upload the catalog. So they have access.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so they're always knowing, oh, here comes another event. I've got another one to edit. So, like you said, kind of think outside the box. Who really is on your team? Who do you have? Maybe not working as an employee, but who do you have helping you out?
Yes.
Or who should you? I mean, oh my gosh.
I know,
Let's
right?
talk about outsourcing editing for a minute now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Outsourcing is kind of a whole nother conversation, but I didn't think about using it for my editor. That's a really good point. Right now, I just send them over. I'm like, hey, got
totally
some time.
Fine. Yeah, you could totally do that.
No, that totally makes sense. And I love what you said about hair and makeup too, to remind them, because right now we send out reminder emails every week saying, these are the sessions that we have coming up. This is what we have scheduled for, only because one time 2 years ago, I had a stylist not show up. Oh. And it was just a miscommunication. It was a, dropped ball. It wasn't a big deal, but we want to avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I didn't even think of using Pixify for that. I think that that's really valuable. We'll definitely have to set that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you once you've added these people as staff members, it opens up a whole nother aspect of the workflow. Now, instead of assigning tasks in the workflow or sending email reminders just to the client or to you, now you can send them to those specific staff members as well, keeping everybody, in the loop. And, now this task that usually you would be used to checking off after you get back the, edited images or whatever, it can be assigned to them and they can go and check it off. Hey, I'm done, job. There you go.
Yes.
So it's really cool.
That is amazing. I feel like I keep looking at the timer. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to go. I try to keep them under an hour, but I do want to talk about workflow.
Let's leak out.
Let's do it. Okay. So most of us creatives are all about just creating, right? Like, I want to get this beautiful photo and I want to book this wedding and we're going to have this amazing venue. And I know exactly the time that I want to be there for the sun to be just right. And those are the things we think about. But when it comes to the business side of our business, there are so many things that need to happen behind the scenes that often fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. And workflow is one of those things that is so valuable. We have in my team a session workflow, and it's also important because it's already there. And so when I have someone new come onto my team, they can look at it and know exactly where something is at. What have you seen workflow used for other than like edit images, deliver images? Like, what else have you seen? Any creative, fun stuff?
Let's see. I've seen it done for, like you said, a lighting company where all they do is really cool event lighting. So, um, there's a whole different workflow with that. And workflow templates are all fully customizable. So, you don't have to worry about it only being, one specific way for only one specific photographer or whatever,
Yes.
which is great. I've seen people set up workflows for, they'll create a project, and in this project, they'll assign a workflow, and the workflow is all about designing an album. So each of the phases is, one is have the client choose the images, and they have a few tasks with that. And then, design the spreads or send it out to be designed, and, all the different follow-up things like that, and having it send emails and questionnaires and stuff like that, all while generating the tasks. And, it's all associated with that specific project. So one thing I didn't even talk about was the workflow visualizer tool. And
what is that?
The visualizer is really cool because tell me more.
I know, right?
The visualizer is really cool because traditionally you would have to go into each event to see where you were in the workflow. What tasks have I completed? What's going on? Am I 10% done? Whatever. With the visualizer, you can see at a glance. It's like having a big whiteboard, and all down the left side are all of the events or projects you've assigned it to. And then on the right are all the phases and tasks that you need to complete or have completed. And so visually you can see, okay, I'm falling behind on this one, or,
wow,
oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. And it's really cool. You could, like going with the album example, you could see, okay, how many more albums do I need to get out the door? Okay, look, I can see I got 7 more that are still either waiting for the client to approve or whatever. It, just gives you a really cool at a glance kind of view, like what is going on and what needs to be done. Got to get stuff done. So.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I don't think I've used that. It doesn't sound familiar to me. I need to get back into Pixify and work on some things.
Yeah, you can actually add it as a dashboard widget. There are so many more dashboard widgets than ever before. I've been creating lots of them. So go feel free to play around with that. It's really cool.
That's amazing. I have worked with students who are very set on paper. And well, I understand, like, as we're talking right now, I'm coloring with colored pens. I love my glitter. I love stuff like that. So I get it. And I had a workflow board that was huge and on my wall. And the problem became when I was working remotely, or if I wasn't at home, I didn't have access to that. So what would you say to someone who is just stuck on paper? They really want to keep their paper, their whiteboards, whatever. What would you say to them to turn them to the dark side?
All right. I'll talk to all of you paper and physical medium people. I love the feel of writing with a cool gel ink pen on paper. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And you mentioned the whole portability aspect. If you forget to bring it with you, you're kind of sunk. But
yes,
the one scenario that completely turned me to digital was hearing about someone who had books of contracts and books of tasks that burned in a house fire. They lost everything. And for that reason alone, you at least have a digital copy of it. Even if you have to keep your paper, keep it somewhere in the cloud, like Pixify, But like, imagine if your house or studio or business burned down and you lost every appointment that you had written in that book, or every note or whatever. It's gone. There's no way to get it back.
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting a little anxious just thinking about that scenario.
I know,
it's even true, But oh gosh, just imagine the worst and then plan for the best,
yes.
Or plan for the worst and, hope for the best. But
yes,
seriously.
Absolutely. I have a paper planner that I love. I love Daniel Laporte's, what's it called? Core Desired Feeling stuff. I love that, but I don't plan my days in that. They stay in Google. I have a team that needs to see my calendar, that needs to have access. And man, once you start growing and once you start having more clients and you need to take on a team member or someone to help you out, having paper just turns into a nightmare.
Yeah. And everybody needs access at that point, like it's just too hard.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. Well, workflow, paper versus digital. I absolutely love this conversation. And I want to thank you so much for being here, Tim. where can people find you, find out more about Pixify? I know I always joke with people, I don't give my referral link because I'm a lifer. So it doesn't change anything for me. I just really, really love the system, and that's why I share it. So where can people find out more about it?
Awesome. So anyone can go to Pixify, Pixify.com, and they can kind of scroll through the website and see some of the features that we talked about. And then there's a little sign up button at the top to sign up for a free trial. And for everyone today, because I'm just feeling crazy, and why not? I mean, why not? Let's do something crazy. Why don't we?
I love crazy.
Yes. Let's create a cool coupon code right now. And when you guys enter that coupon code in, you'll be able to get 3 months free to kick the tires, set up your workflow. That way you're not feeling rushed. You don't feel like you have, 14 days or 30 days to try and, handle all of your business and try to set it up. Here's 3 months free. Check it out. Watch the videos. Take your time. I would suggest for all of those of you who do sign up, start with the clients that you're working on now rather than going backwards in time.
Yes.
At least to start.
Yes.
Just so that way you don't, go crazy. But yeah. So yeah, I'll let's just call it business straight up, all in capital letters. How about that?
That's perfect. And we'll put that information into the show notes so people can click on it and follow through. And I do want to put in kind of a side note. I know everyone gets excited and then you go in and you claim your free 3 months and then you don't do something with it because we're entering wedding season. So make sure that you start that. Yes, start that 3 months when you're ready and have some time to really dive into it, because it will take some time. And I don't want to discourage you, but all of these systems, setting up a system in any software up front will take more time because you save time in the end.
Right. Absolutely.
So it will take me, like I said, for leads, it probably took me about 2 hours to set everything up. But now all of that is automated. And for the 1,600 leads that I have in Pixify, can you imagine sending out emails for 1,600 people?
No.
That's insane. So, it will take time up front. Just know that going into it. Just know that you are not broken. You are not behind everyone else. You're not missing anything. It will take time. Join the Facebook group. Get some encouragement. Listen to this part again. You are not broken.
You can do it.
It will take time. You can do it. It will be worth it in the long run.
Yep. And you're basically teaching the system how you want to do business. So when you're teaching anything, it takes some time.
It does. It takes more time up front, but it's an investment for more time in the end.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. 3 free months. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that special offer. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the rest of 2018. I clearly need to get in and get my gift cards going.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just can't wait to hear the success stories of your listeners as they get in there and set it up and free up more time. And it's going to be amazing. So
sweet. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And for all of the listeners, as always, you can view the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at www.businessstraightupodcast.com. It is all one word. I know it's long, but it's all one word. And you'll see the link, you'll see the coupon code, you'll see everything that you need to move forward and automate and free up some time in your life, because I promise it's worth it. So if you have any questions for me, as always, you can hit me up at businessstraightup.com. Please, if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe on iTunes, leave a review. Starting this month, we are going to start doing a review of the week with a special prize. So don't forget to go to iTunes, subscribe, leave a review, and you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for listening to Business Straight Up. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Check out the show notes for this and all of the episodes at businessstraightuppodcast.com. And I can't wait to talk with you again. Have a great day.